We interrupt your regularly scheduled programming for an update on Hurricane Milton. I'm Alexis Vivanco.
I'm Jada Ross. Thank you for joining us. Just over an hour ago, Hurricane Milton made landfall as a Category 3 storm along Sarasota County. Taking a live look out on our DOT cameras, we can see heavy wind, rain, and flooding impacting the Fort Myers area.
In a post shared on X just moments before landfall, Governor Ron DeSantis says now is the time for residents to shelter in place. He says first responders are staged and ready to go as soon as weather conditions will allow. We're joined now by UF forecaster Matthew Clark. And Matthew, with landfall just an hour ago, it's going to be a while before first responders can be deployed.
Yeah, Milton made landfall at 8:30 p.m. in Siesta Key exactly. They're at a strong Category 3 at winds with 120 miles per hour. That is a catastrophic Category 3 storm. Right now, it has moved a little bit further inland into Manatee County with winds up to 110 miles per hour, so still a Category 3 storm, still moving pretty fast east-northeast at around 16 miles per hour. Quickly moving out of the state, though, as a Category 1 storm by Thursday morning with winds around 90 miles per hour before it eventually moves its way off into the Atlantic. Good news is it is moving quickly, so by Thursday morning and Thursday afternoon, storm is going to be out of the way. Right now, Category 2 actually just got downgraded to a Category 2. Strong Category 2, still life-threatening storm. Storm surge for Tampa, still storm surge in Tampa, but they have that offshore wind, which is kind of pushing the water out with the counterclockwise motion of a storm. Then it's bringing all that water and all that surge into Venice, Port Charlotte, Siesta Key. They've seen over 10 feet of storm surge up to this point. Made landfall right here, Siesta Key, so everything south of there, Sarasota, Venice, Port Charlotte have seen the worst storm surge. North has seen the most rain. I think Pinellas County got a foot of rain in just over 4 hours. Our area, though, only 1 to 3 feet of storm surge. Cedar Key got a lot from Helene. However, from Milton, only 1 to 3 feet. They got spared up there because the storm was south. Crystal River, 3 to 6 feet down there. We've been talking about the dry air that's been to the west of the storm that's been impacting it, weakening it really quickly from a 5 just a day ago to a Category 3 before landfall. And you can see that the wind swath, when it was north of the Yucatan Peninsula, pretty small storm, but as it moved its way further to the northeast into our area, the tropical storm force winds expanded really quickly, expanding from Gainesville all the way down to Naples. They've seen tropical storm force sustained winds. Hurricane force winds field has also been large. This white stuff is 75 mile per hour storm force winds or greater, which is hurricane force winds. Landfall at 8:30 moved its way through Sarasota County into Manatee County as it makes its way through Winter Haven as the center, pretty much paralleling the I-4 corridor at this point. We're going to be seeing those tropical storm force winds here in Gainesville, eventually moving its way offshore later Thursday morning and into Thursday afternoon is when we're going to start to see those effects start to weaken, and all should be clear then. The wind threat, 39 to 57 mile per hour sustained winds for our area. We're going to start to see those winds around midnight into the early hours of Thursday morning. Further south you go, the more strong those winds are, 58 to 73 in Ocala, the Villages, and then 74 to 110 mile per hour sustained winds. Still a strong Category 1, Category 2 storm. We've seen a lot of rain over the past couple days, and Milton has added to it. 2.5 inches in Gainesville, and the further south, 4 inches in Ocala, 4.2 inches in the Villages. And for the most part, this rain has been pretty devastating because it's been flooding and saturating the soil. And so any additional rain from Milton is going to create kind of just a runoff effect. Tree roots are going to be weaker, so those trees are going to be able to fall easily with those tropical storm force winds. It's pretty much looked like this since 8 a.m. this morning. Some light showers, some heavy showers. Most of the strong stuff right now is over the Ocala and the Villages. They have a flash flood warning in Marion County right now. Tampa radar has the eye wall of the storm over Tampa right now. Eye is over Manatee County, just to the north of Sarasota, zooming in on that. Eye is pretty large right now just because of all that dry air that's been wrapping in. So everything to the south of this storm, lots of storm surge, really fast winds. Everything to the north of the storm, really fast winds, heavy rain. 12 inches in just over 4 hours is a very dangerous amount of rain in a short amount of time. Futurecast moving into the overnight hours towards midnight and past midnight, still seeing some of the rain. And as the rain rates start to slow down, the wind speed is going to increase as we start to get on the west side of this storm. That wind speed is going to remain into the tropical storm for sustained winds as we head into Thursday morning and eventually into late Thursday morning and into early Thursday afternoon. It's going to start to tail off into the coast. Power outage totals are starting to count their numbers up. Those numbers are only going to increase. We've seen 14,000 residents without power in Marion County, only 600 here in Alachua County, but Pinellas, Hillsborough, Manatee County, down to Sarasota County, 160,000 in Pinellas and Hillsborough County. These numbers are going to continue to ramp up as the storm makes its way through the Florida Peninsula, pretty much paralleling that I-4 corridor. It's going to be a very, very, very costly storm. Hurricane warning for most of the Florida Peninsula, everything south of Fort Myers, still under tropical storm warning. And north Gainesville, we are in a tropical storm warning up through Jacksonville. Jacksonville is under a hurricane warning just because it's expected to continue to move up and through the northeast. So a few main takeaways: made landfall at 8:30 tonight in Siesta Key. Midnight conditions are going to continue to worsen here as we head into those midnight hours. 1 a.m., 2 a.m., we're going to start to see those tropical storm sustained winds. And by late Thursday morning, the Milton moves off the Atlantic coast. Conditions are going to slightly get better as we head there. Campus cam, lots of rain on our camera. Can't really see the wind right now just because the raindrops covering the camera. But sustained winds right now of 21 miles per hour. Those numbers are going to go up as we head later into tonight. Wind gusts just shy of tropical storm force winds at 38 miles per hour. And we've seen 1.3 inches of rain so far. That number is also going to continue to rise. And again, we've seen a lot of rain before Milton. So flooding is very possible as we head into tonight and into tomorrow morning. 7-day outlook, if there's good news at all, Saturday and Sunday look to be a great day, but storm conditions are going to remain pretty constant as we head into Thursday morning.
Bradford County Fire Rescue crews are adding additional staff for the hurricane. In a post to Facebook, crews say they have placed additional resources throughout the county. They hope this will help in response time to emergencies during the storm. Crews are also reminding neighbors to please stay off the roadways until the storm passes. An update from Marion County officials: Milton's heavy rains are putting significant pressure on the wastewater system. Officials are asking neighbors to conserve water for the next 2 days to help prevent overflows. Avoid laundry, limit showers, and flush toilets only when it's necessary until 5 p.m. on Friday.
A front north of Hurricane Milton has brought a lot of wind shear, resulting in tornadoes across the Sunshine State. WFT's Emilio Boutros is live in the studio breaking down how you can protect yourself if there's a tornado in your area.
A record number of tornado warnings have been issued across the state of Florida before Milton made landfall. This is the most warnings since Hurricane Ian. A front north of Milton provided wind shear and warm, moist area, the perfect condition for tornadoes to form. Several counties, including Broward, Lee, St. Lucie, and Martin County, have experienced destruction at the hands of these tornadoes.
We didn't see any tornado like in person, but we did experience some power flickering. So just like short bursts of like power outages. Luckily, my house has power now, and like we weren't super affected like some people that I know in other parts of like Southwest Port St. Lucie.
The National Weather Service has released some tornado safety tips that you should follow. They recommend that you stay away from doors and windows, and that you go to the lowest floor and take shelter in an interior room. If you're in a vehicle, try finding a ditch or a safe structure to park into. Stay away from overpasses as wind speeds increase due to a tunneling effect. If you're outdoors, make sure to seek shelter. We will continue to keep a close watch and find people who can share the stories of Milton. Live in the studio, Emilio Boutros, WFT News.
Taking a look at our updated power outages in our area as this storm makes its way inland on the west coast. More than 328,000 customers in Pinellas County are in the dark. Look at your screens. There are already over 1.4 million outages throughout the state. Marion County is the hardest hit in north central Florida, with more than 34,000 customers experiencing outages. Just 2 hours ago, 42,000 customers in Marion County were without power after Hurricane Helene. If your power goes out, officials are recommending to keep your fridge and freezer doors closed as much as possible. This can help keep your food to last up to 2 days in a full freezer or a day and a half full freezer. In a fridge, food can last 4 hours without power. Don't eat food that has expired due to foodborne illnesses.
We've told you before, there are 10 different locations people can go to for safety in Marion County. WUFT's Juan Carlos Chowie is live in the studio with an update on these shelters.
That's right. I spoke with Marion County Sheriff's Office Public Information Officer Valerie Strong over email about the current state of the shelters. She said none of the shelters are full and there is no cutoff time for evacuees to get them. So just a quick recap of all the shelters in Marion County. Take a look at your screen. These are the first 5. These are all general population shelters: Bellevue Middle, Forest High, Fort McCoy, Horizon Academy, and Liberty Middle. These are the other 5 shelters. Madison Street Academy and North Marion Middle School are also general population. Westport is the special needs shelter. Lake Weir High and Vanguard High are the pet-friendly shelters. Finally, the Sex Offender and Predator Shelter is located at the MCSO Sexual Offender and Predator Unit. All these locations can be found on WUFT.org. Live in the studio, Juan Carlos Chowie, WUFT News.
People in Georgia are also preparing for the effects of the storm. Just 2 weeks ago, people in McIntosh County in South Georgia felt the effects of Hurricane Helene. Some people there are worrying about what's to come from Hurricane Milton, but others aren't as concerned.
Just try to prevent any excess damage. We lost our roof in Helene from our little outside shack, so we're still haven't got that repaired.
A little wind and storm surge we've heard maybe coming, but even that's going to be minimal compared to Helene. So
here at WFT, we like to keep all of our viewers informed, including our Spanish speakers. Here's a recap of the top stories from today's show in Spanish. El Servicio Meteorológico Nacional te tienes algunos consejos de seguridad en caso de tornado. Recomienda que te alejes de puertas y ventanas. Si estás en un edificio, vete al piso más bajo. También tienes que estar atento a cualquier alerta de emergencia. Busca refugio donde estacionar si estás en un vehículo, y si te encuentras al aire libre, busca refugio inmediatamente. También te tenemos un resumen de todos los refugios abiertos en el condado Marion. Los refugios para la población general son Bellevue Middle School, Forest High, Fort McCoy, Horizon Academy y Liberty Middle. Madison Street Academy y North Marion Middle School también son refugios para la población general. Westport es un refugio para los que tienen necesidades especiales. Los refugios de Lake Weir y Vanguard High aceptan mascotas. Hurricane Milton made landfall just 2 hours ago over in Sarasota County.
UF forecaster Matthew Clark joins us now and is tracking where the storm is heading.
Yeah, so right now it's over Manatee County as a strong Category 2 storm with winds up to 110 miles per hour. Right here, that's just 1 mile per hour shy of a Category 3 storm, so still very life-threatening storm that's over land. It's going to continue to weaken as it moves its way through Florida pretty quickly. By Thursday morning, it still remains a Category 1 hurricane as it makes its way off into the Atlantic, moving pretty fast to east-northeast at around 16 miles per hour before making its way off into the Atlantic Ocean as we head into this weekend. Good news, it's moving quickly. Going to be out of our area pretty shortly. Got to just hang in there for now. This swath of rain has been pretty consistent from 8 a.m. to now. Marion County under a flash flood warning. You see all this heavy rain, yellow, red rain that's over Marion County. Gainesville seeing some pretty heavy rain as well as we head into tonight. Future track right now as it heads continuously through. It almost parallels the I-4 corridor up through Orlando. The rain rates are going to start to slow down in our area here in Gainesville as we head into Thursday early morning, but those winds are going to start to continue to ramp up still at this point. So tropical storm force winds that are sustained is not out of the question. It's going to remain like that until we head into the later parts of Thursday morning. Most of the state is still under a hurricane warning. It's going to remain that way until Milton is off to sea. Tropical storm warning south down into the south parts of the area. For the most part though, power outage is going to remain constant for the most part. Those numbers are going to continue going up as it parallels the I-4 corridor. Very costly storm.
Thank you, Matthew, and thank you for joining us. We'll be back at 11 p.m. with more updates on Hurricane Milton.
We also have live updates on WFT.org. We now return to your regularly scheduled programming.